It's 888-441-4623. To connect by text, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Now let's go to the show ready to rock your evening. This is Romberg and Korge on Onside Radio.
Welcome to Romberg and Korge. Thanks for joining us. Our last show before the holidays. Looking forward to it tonight as we have our good friend Claudia Trejos from ESPN Deportes will be joining us shortly, and she's going to give us a report from the bubble in San Antonio that she was in this past weekend for the Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Smith fight that went on this weekend. It's going to talk a little too about the upcoming MMA bouts that are going to happen 3 in 1 week from Fight Island in Abu Dhabi.
Is this one of the last ones? I know they were contracted for so many of them, but is this one of the last ones that they're going to have out there? I know that was a huge concern in the very beginning of it because of the temperature and the weather and all that other stuff. And I know guys were just going ahead and making sure that this was going to go down in order to knock a few fights off of their UFC contract.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's one of the last ones, but I do know it's going to be highly anticipated as they have a lot of great bouts going on, and Claudia will be able to talk to us about it. But nothing bigger than Conor McGregor. I mean, there's such a fascination in this country, worldwide, really, with Conor McGregor.
I would have, I should have. I would have, could have, should have. It's one of those situations where that whole single malt that he's got going on. What's it called? What's Conor's Irish whiskey? What does he call it? Proper 12. I know my buddies, you went out and bought a couple bottles of that stuff. But if I would have known that, we would have been doing Proper 12 tonight instead of some other name brand that we're not getting paid for, so we're not going to show it, right?
We're not going to show it.
Oh, we're showing it, dang it. Come on, Bobby.
But we are going to drink it.
Come on, Bob. Oh, we're definitely going to drink it.
I mean, we might not show it, but we're definitely going to consume it.
Yeah,
that's
and then
for
Roni's, everybody loves a good Rona once in a while. So.
Yeah, it's good for the chaser, but McGregor has fought, I think, maybe 2 or 3 fights since 2016.
Well, ever since he got chin checked that one time.
Yeah.
And I believe that by Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? I think that once that spot is found for a fighter, I don't know whether it's mental. You saw it happen with Ronda Rousey too. There was never any thought in anyone's mind that Ronda was going to get beat. When she got beat, she got her face kicked in. You know what I mean? Remember how brutal that was? And you almost had a sense of sorrow, I guess you could say, for Ronda, because you watched that mountain that she was on just start to deteriorate underneath her feet, and then she became a different person, a different fighter, and then sure enough, the WWE was right there to go ahead and pick her up. But I was really, really like starstruck by her when she fell off of that mountain. And I feel like the same kind of thing happened with Conor. Once you realize that chin has a soft spot, and now you start to doubt yourself, whether you're a fighter or a professional athlete, man, there's nothing greader than self-doubt that can go ahead and deteriorate somebody's confidence. So I'm eager to see what Conor has lined up.
Yeah, well, we got Claudia. You want to bring her in? Claudia Trejos, ESPN Deportes. There she is. There's our gal. Hi, Claudia. How are you today?
Hello. I'm recovering. I'm doing a lot better now that I get a chance to see you guys. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thanks for joining us. So you're back from San Antonio after the Alvarez Smith fight. Tell us a little bit about that. What was your takeaway from the fight?
Well, at this point in time, let me see. If I turn this, is it better for you guys?
Yeah,
I guess so.
There we go.
Okay, there you go. Did you guys get a chance to see a fight at all?
I saw highlights of the fight. Yeah. I didn't see it live. It looked like Alvarez really from start to finish was on his game.
Totally. At this point in time, I can honestly say that I find it very hard to find an opponent that will make his life miserable. I'm not going to say that can't beat him, but really like dominate him. This is a guy that has taken 154, 160, 168, 175. So now he's in the elite of historical Mexican fighters. He's up there with the Travieso Arces, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, I believe he's top 4. So in reality, he's one of the best fighters that we have in Mexican history, Mexican boxing history. And today he's on the top of my pound for pound best fighters. Not only that, but he was a total gentleman. And Callum Smith, I gotta, take my hat off. Chapeau, chapeau, chapeau. He took a beating and he did not go until the last bell. He took it all of it.
Claudia, that's one of the things that, like, if you looked at the landed thrown ratio that was going on between the two fighters, it was staggering. To see the amount that was thrown. Like, the head movement that Canelo's got is incredible, right? Like, that's one of the things that you always, I guess you could say, as a boxing fan, you kind of move yourself away from. If you're not into the game itself, if you're not really into fighting in the technical aspect of it, you don't appreciate that defense, that head movement that is so incredibly elusive by him. It was incredible to watch that.
You make me so proud. Yes. You know why? Because for the longest time, people are just looking for that knockout. People are just looking for that big punch that's going to end the career. Somebody's fighting, obviously, sometimes even the career. And Canelo showed that he had the power, but moreover, he was handling somebody that was 6 inches taller and 8 inches difference in reach. And that jab was coming in, and that very slight movement of head, and that very slight, almost matrix movement of the waist. It was just phenomenal. And when we're talking about punch stats, when you look at the production in terms of punches and general punches and jabs and general punches and power punches, you could see that the number thrown by Canelo was moderate, but his accuracy was beyond 40, 50%.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So he's the type of guy that is not going to come in blazing, just, chaotically throwing punches. He was very precise, very clinically precise. And that's the one thing that we were talking about when I went to the show with you guys on a couple of weeks ago. He knows how to save energy. He knows how to find those holes where he can actually go in, and then slowly but surely, the way I see it is that he starts tearing the fighters apart, their fight plan, whatever weapons they present. He just neutralizes them, and then slowly but surely works his way in until his opponent is just done, which is exactly what happened to Callum Smith. I need to share with you guys, I'm good friends with the family, and at the end of the night, we had the opportunity to, have, the press conference, that we were having dinner, and I came up to Callum, and he looked beaten up. Canelo came down, and he sat with him and literally shared a very interesting conversation. He said, you're an extraordinary fighter. Today was not your day. Understand that this is perhaps the toughest fight I've had. Your reach, your jab was making my life miserable. I just happened to have a better day at the office. That on its own shows chivalry, shows respect. And I take that with me. Besides the outstanding performance that he had throughout 12 rounds, I saw a real champ. Respect for his opponent. I got to tell you guys, that left arm in Callum Smith was neutralized from the 7th round on. Callum Smith fought with one arm.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yes.
That was horrendous. He ended up with a concussion and a torn biceps.
Oh, wow. Ooh. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, well, and he didn't say a word. He did not use that as an excuse. He said that ended up being an effect of a very effective fighter that I had. Because that jab was creating problems.
Right.
So he brought that jab down. How do you bring that jab down? Bringing the arm down. Precise.
Incredible. He's like a surgeon. It really is. Like, when I was watching that, and I watched some really extended coverage of that fight. It was basically like highlights. It was like 30 seconds of a round every single round. And just watching Canelo show up to that fight with like 2 razor blades, well, you saw Calum showing up with 2 giant battle axes.
Right.
And it was like one of those, just I'm going to give you everything I got. And then you saw him coming in there, just little cuts. It was really,
exactly.
Really
I like that analogy. I'm gonna take that from you, because that is a great analogy. It was almost like this guy with a sledgehammer and then a sculptor coming with a very fine hammer.
Exactly.
Slowly but surely. Yes.
Chipping away. Con chippy hammer. Con
el chippy hammer. Yes.
see. Glad I can see.
I
So
totally agree.
So what do we expect from this? His fourth division won by Canelo Alvarez. What's next for him? What do you think?
Well, he was very clear. He's looking for history. He's looking to leave a legacy in the sport. He wants to write his own chapter. And at this point in time, there's a conversation about unification for the 168. That's a very interesting division. So we'll see. As a matter of fact, I had a chat with Tom Loeffler, who happens to be the manager for Gennady Golovkin. And from both corners, both Gennady and Canelo, they said, well, we still need to know what's going to happen in 2021 and audience, and if we're going to have any type of split share in terms of the kind of audience that they're going to have available. So depends on that if they have a third fight.
What about the whole
Did I lose you guys?
going on? What about the situation with Conor, man? What's going to happen with Conor? What do you have like highlight wise for us with Conor? Because I'm of the avail that I have that same Ronda Rousey style of mentality where I feel like that Khabib fight just took a lot out of him, and now he's a businessman, selling his Irish whiskey, and I'm wondering what his situation is going to be moving forward. Are we going to be expecting like a barroom brawl, or what do we got going on?
I think she disappeared on us there.
She's out. Can we come back to her after this segment? Is she going to come back?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm
going to bring her back right now for a second. There she is.
When we come back, Claudia, are you going to be able to answer a couple questions about Conor McGregor and what we feel like in terms of?
Well, she's gone again. She'll be with us after the break. We'll talk to her a little bit about.
I'm spent.
You're
spent. I thought I had a good question. I'm spent now.
You're not, young man.
I'm going to dive into the bottle.
And you're referring to the week in January from the 16th to the 23rd, 3 nights of fighting on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi that features Conor McGregor. They announced that yesterday, the UFC. So it's going to be a lot of great fights. And we're going to come back with Claudia Trejos to discuss all of that and more right here on Romberg and start your morning every day at 6 a.m. with 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. The boys cover all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. 4th and 20, 6 to 8 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Romberg and Korge. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com. Listen to OnsideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's sports leader.
Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong. Deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the guys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. This is Romberg and Korge on Onside Radio.
What a way to have an interlude right there between commercial segments. That was
impressive. We have Grant Miller walking in here.
You're accusing us of being anti-Semites
right.
and then leaving.
And then walking out the door. Yes.
That's unbelievable.
But
mid-workout.
We're joined by Claudia Trejos, ESPN Deportes, talking some blood sports here tonight on Romberg and Korge. So Claudia, let's talk a little bit about this whole week of fighting going on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, January 16th through the 23rd, featuring Conor McGregor's return. He's only had, 2 fights since 2016? He's not like he's battle-tested in the last couple of years. What do you think about all that?
Well, let's not forget that he was battle-tested before that.
Yes.
And the truth of the matter is, at this point in time in his career, does he not deserve the right to just show off what he has done? And by the way, I'm not going to shade on his scotch. It's not bad.
It's okay. No, I've had it. It's okay.
It's okay. It's not bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Se puede beber. You know what I'm saying? We can have that.
The one question that I had for you right before we left was,
yes,
I was going to ask you about Conor, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering about Canelo. Obviously, Canelo is a monster, and he's going to be taking. You mentioned something that triggered something in my head about legacy.
I usually do, and it's not just your head.
Okay, Rico. Hey, Rico.
It's usually the middle body part, but yes.
Yeah, it's 6 to midnight, no doubt about it. And then so I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, okay, you triggered legacy, and what I think when you say legacy is obviously offspring and kids. But I'm also thinking about the same way that De La Hoya did his stuff with creating an enterprise and a business and a brand behind Canelo Alvarez in Mexico, and then obviously internationally. Does he have that business savvy and sense to go ahead and create something? Is that what you mean by legacy, or is it something different?
I think it's both. I think he's already made a brand for himself. I think he's already fought the best of the best at this point in time in every division that he's actually been. So he is, I am not going to go as far that he's already a household name, but he will be, because just like Oscar back in the day, I remember women
before the Perigo.
Was there ever before that? But anyway, I said that.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, moving right along. I was going to say before the pantyhose, but it's a completely different animal.
You got a horrible Spanish accent. You're correct, 100%.
Exactly. So remember back in the day when Oscar was not recognized for his talent. He was just recognized because he was a pretty boy well-spoken, very soft-spoken. Yep. Canelo has suffered for that same reason, with the aggravation that he doesn't look Mexican. He looks like the next Irish boy.
That's what I thought. When you mentioned the fact that he was Mexican, I was just like, isn't Canelo from – and I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on. You don't even know this guy's a Mexican fighter? And I'm just like, that's right. I keep thinking of ginger, like pale-skinned,
very pale.
Give me some freckles. I'm an Irishman. Yeah.
And that's exactly what he looks like. So a lot of, when he's not –
not accepted, probably, right? Yeah.
He's not accepted. He's not loved the way Julio Cesar did Marco Antonio, Eric El Terrible Morales, Salvador Sanchez. The list goes on and on and on. He looks different, but so did Oscar. Back in the day, he was the pretty boy. He was too pretty, too soft-spoken. Right. He didn't fit the image that we have for a fighter. Right. So Canelo has done a great job at following that and playing that up. And obviously the camera loves him. He's done great commercials with Sly. He's one of his best friends. So yes, he's worked on that brand. In terms of legacy, he wants to leave his name in one particular chapter of Mexican boxing. And that's to supersede any type of achievement done by Mexican fighters. He wants to go up to 6 divisions. I don't know, things can happen. But in terms of business savvy, let's backtrack a little bit. He's been fighting as a professional for the last 15 years. He still has his money. He has his kids, his house, everything is paid for. I think he's ahead of the game. Yeah. And not only that, he has his own production, his own promotion. He's now a free agent. He picks and chooses. He surrounds himself with very savvy people that are willing to give him the best of themselves. We're talking about business. One of his best friends is Carlos Slim. Hello.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the type of guy that has like an entourage of 20. You know what I mean? He seems like a very particular, savvy, like very nice. I'm going to pick my friends. Usually the people that I always see that hang out with people that are way smarter and way more wealthier than you are, you're doing a good job. You know what I mean? Like you're really doing it. You don't want to be the star of the show when you're hanging out with people. And it seems like that's the way that Canelo might be.
Well, I come from a very happy, loud family. And he comes from a very happy, loud family. He's one of 8.
Wow.
So that on its own is an entourage. So why would he need to add anybody else? Whatever he brings into his very small family are very influential people. Business, politics, law. Even his manager, he's got a couple of people. He's got people taking care of his, personal and his business, completely separate. And you and I know that today the athlete is a lot more savvy, perhaps a little bit more open to listen to other people. They're not as influenced by their family members, because you and I know of outrageous cases of athletes playing for 20 years, they retire and they're bankrupt. Their family have taken everything. How many times have we heard that story?
Exactly.
Right.
I know.
Right.
And then speaking of which, guys that make stupid amounts of money with the Conor McGregor situation, what are you anticipating over there in Abu Dhabi? And not only what are you anticipating in Abu Dhabi, but are you going to be able to go to Abu Dhabi?
You
don't care. You don't care to go over there.
No, of course I'd care to go there. My gosh. It's an extraordinary experience. Going to the Middle East in general is just a completely different world experience.
Pero no tiene respeto para mujeres, ¿verdad?
Espérate, calma. It depends. No me hagas. Espérate. There's and then there's. I'm sorry. Pero no, going back to the real issue. The protocols by UFC are very strict. And I'm not sure if they're going to allow audience, and I'm not even sure how much press they will allow to go.
Oh, wow.
So, and with the situation, just so you guys know, once we opened up the bubble in San Antonio and we all basically left, things changed dramatically. There's a fight going on January 2nd, which is the return for Ryan Garcia against Luke Campbell. And the bubble is going to be even more strict. So I don't know. We're not sure. At this point in time, everything is up in the air because things are changing quickly in Europe, and we're expecting things to change quickly here in the States in the very beginning of 2021.
Yeah.
That goes in conjunction with the whole the immunization, the vaccine. So it all depends with who's willing to put the first step forward. And Abu Dhabi is a safe place. It's an island. The bubble is constant.
Right.
So I think the way they've handled UFC in particular, the way they've handled Abu Dhabi, I don't think they're going to make any changes anytime soon, because that's been very efficient.
That leads me to my next question. I know the Super Bowl has already announced that anybody in terms of essential workers, whether it's medical or even people that have the press that have had the vaccination, they're granted access to the Super Bowl, basically in Tampa. So I'm wondering if like massive companies, corporations like ESPN, for instance, are going to be, I guess you could say, getting first crack and allowing the coverage in order to bring it to everybody, to give their employees the opportunity to go ahead and get that vaccine in order to go ahead and cover the sport.
Very interesting subject. Let's start with the fact that they have already pointed out the people that are going to be doing coverage outside the ESPN bubble. Right. So, for example, those that did the NBA bubble, they're going to be doing the NBA. Those that did boxing bubble, they're going to be held by Top Rank. And obviously, whoever's done UFC, which is minimum, by the way, maybe 2 or 3 people, they might get a crack at first testing, then getting the vaccination, but that's always left to the talent's decision. This is not to be taken lightly. And the fact that we are going overseas, that we are traveling, the fact that, again, we don't know if we're going to have audience or not, because I remember for the last couple of fights, UFC, they allowed a minimum amount of audience. So did Top Rank. So is Matchroom. So I don't think, I don't know what ESPN is going to decide to do coming 2021. I do understand that they're trying to move as fast as they can with all the protocols that have been implemented in different states, which is another challenge because every state has a completely different way of handling things. For example, California right now doesn't want to have anything to do with anything. Yep. Texas, on the other hand, is a little bit more open. Colorado just turned code red, so they're not going to let people, going in and out, even if you're part of the press.
Right.
But in terms of Conor McGregor, I expect it to be a good show. I don't expect him to win. I agree with Andy. I think we had, I'm going to say, 3 versions of Conor McGregor. One was the one that fought against Khabib, and the other one was the one that fought against Mayweather. Mm-hmm. Let's see who shows up. And the truth is how difficult it's been to train during this pandemic. People really don't understand that.
Yeah. Any other great fights we should look for during that week? Holloway, Qatar, maybe. What other fights are you looking at during those 3 nights of UFC fighting that you think will be especially captivating?
Well, that night we have the ladies. The ladies are going to give us a great show. So actually the whole week is going to be very interesting, but it's going to be capped off with 2 of the events being showcasing the women's talent. So I suggest for you guys to support that because you guys don't want them on your bad side.
No, of course not.
No,
of course not. But then that's another thing. Like I've always been kind of somewhat uncomfortable with watching women getting bloodied and beat up. And I'm interested to find out. I'm being serious now. Me being a caveman meathead, I'm super chauvinistic, right? It is what it is. I'm sorry. I've been brought up.
I love the fact that you actually acknowledge that.
He embraces it.
I'm all man. I'm T-Bone, Porterhouse, you name it. But I get very like I told Andy at the beginning of the show, when I saw Ronda Rousey get her face kicked in, I was just like, oh my God. I wanted to go and like hold her. Like that's the way I felt. I wanted to go and protect her because I got nervous. I was just like, oh my God, this poor woman just got her face kicked in and her teeth knocked out. So I'm nervous about watching female scrap. But it usually ends up being sometimes the best fight on the card.
For sure.
I'm telling you, the ladies across the board in combat sports, even, we have women that do play football. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but because we have to work that much harder to just get any type of validation, we bring everything. We put all our meat on the barbecue. So it's a take all, hands down. So
we got to put our meat on the barbecue right now because we're going to a break.
Are you inviting her to your barbecue?
Yes.
Your meat
I'm
on
never invited.
That's just the way I ride. But Claudia, we'd love to have you back joining us here on Romberg and Korge as often as you want because you really know how to deliver. I will tell you, you really do.
I like you in studio better though. To be honest with you.
You just like my legs.
Claro que sí.
Well, there's no dishonesty in all of that.
Wow, they got feet on the bottom and a bum on the top.
That's
perfect.
There you go.
It's
the perfect leg. We'll tune in every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. to four guys born and raised in South Florida and raising hell every morning to start your day. Catch the Morning Juice with Lemon City live every day at OnsideRadio.com.
Make Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last, to the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online, to the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful, to those who don't stop and those making all the stops, to the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong, deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the fellas, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Romberg and Korge.
Maybe I will.
News. LL Cool J with a triumphant comeback.
Here we go.
Tonight.
Don't call it a comeback.
You like that? You know, Brett Romberg, that might get me a little more, give me a little more energy tonight. I am like Jeb Bush. I am like Jeb Bush. I am low energy tonight.
Are you low T as well?
I don't know about that. I don't think so.
I got an answer for you if you got some low T going on. Man.
Well,
I got a company. I got a company who I'm working with. They're really good, bro. They'll not only help you out with that situation, but they help you out with all kinds of other stuff.
Well, I'm usually not, but today for some reason
You're dragging ass.
I was dragging today.
I wouldn't have thunk it with the Santa hat.
You like the Santa hat?
Yesterday you had the Who, and then what other hat did you have on? You had the Who shirt yesterday.
Yeah, I had the Who shirt. I love the Who.
Of course.
I mean, how can you not? Bashing your guitar. Pete Townsend.
Love can make the rain.
Yeah, that's it.
And only lover.
Roger Daltrey and all. Well, I love the Who, but today I was dragging. Today I got my Will Ferrell. I see. Santa, I know him. Santa, I know him. One of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. But you know who I'm hoping does not have low energy tonight? And they start in a few minutes.
The freaking Heat, man.
And that is our Miami Heat, who open up the season in Orlando against the Magic. We were 3-1 against the Magic last year, and we're featuring a few new players on our roster. Avery Bradley, Mo Harkless, and of course our first-round draft pick, Precious Achiuwa.
Well, here's the thing: the minute that I hate to do this.
Okay,
I'm not calling another grown man Precious.
I don't blame you.
The minute that they announced this,
don't blame you.
I sat there and just like, oh hell no! I'm like, is his name Precious? Like, are they going Greek? Like, can they give me like a Greek name maybe? But no, brother's name is Precious. And I'm just like, I'm not calling another freaking man Precious. Like, are you crazy?
Was there anyone you played with whose name?
Never. I've never heard soft as baby shit names ever in my life playing with. If you got that name given to you by your mother, you're not going by it. You better have like some kind of nickname growing up.
I agree.
His name is for real, like Precious. And he might be you know what he might be? It might be like the Johnny Cash theory. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be like the Johnny Cash theory, where this dude's dad departed early on. And he knew if he was going to grow up and be a tough son of a bitch, he was going to have a jacked up, messed up name that he was going to have to fight kids all the time. Hence the song Boy Named Sue.
Sue, right.
And my name is Sue. How do you do? Yeah. For those of you that don't know that song, look it up. It's a freaking amazing song. But Precious. Wasn't there like a movie with a big girl?
Yeah. There's an actress. Her name is Precious, right? She was a big, overweight, kind of African-American woman. I don't remember the movie exactly, but yes, there was one.
And then everybody had to give like the courtesy. Oh yeah, she's awesome because she's a bigger girl and she's African-American leading.
Well, I think she got actually nominated for an Academy Award, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course. Well, and just like Caitlyn Jenner got the Hero of the Year
or whatever, Person of the Year, Life magazine.
Of course.
Yes. But I'm hoping our Precious it really is
you can't even what's his last? Let's go by his last name because Achiuwa. Yeah. That sounds like Star Wars.
Yeah, it is.
Andy, I can bring you guys the projected lineups if you want real quick.
Okay, yeah, that'd be
sponsored by Galliano Cigar Bar on Galliano and Aragon. In the Gables.
Yeah, for those that haven't been over to Galliano,
by the way, that Rocky Patel Grand Reserve cigar you brought me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tommy.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Shout out to Ed Reed with the 20th version of the Rocky Patel. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Rocky Patel. RPs are pretty badass.
All right, so starting for the Magic tonight at guard, Markelle Fultz. On the other side guard, Evan Fournier. Center, Nikola Vucevic. Forward, Dwayne Bacon. And the other forward on the other side, Aaron Gordon.
Oh, by the way, before you continue, a nice young lineup that the Orlando Magic has.
Yeah, no doubt.
Up and coming lineup. They should give us a fight tonight. But again, we were 3-1 against the Magic last year, coming off the NBA Finals. I look for a strong start for the Heat. Go ahead, Tom.
And then for your Miami Heat, Kendrick Nunn at guard.
Freaking Mike Biamonte, like yes. And now for your Miami Heat,
can you say Dos Minutos for us?
This is my 15 seconds.
I like it. Okay. Yeah, I don't
on the guard on the other side, Duncan Robinson. Center, Bam Adebayo. Forward, Jimmy Buckets Butler. On the other side, forward, Myers Leonard.
Hey, shout out to the Miami Heat. If Biamonte ever takes a night off, we got somebody for you. We know somebody.
Right.
We have a guy.
Yeah, we have a guy. So how do you see the Heat season panning out? You know, we talked about this yesterday, Brett. There was talk about James Harden, and now Harden's not in the plans, and I wonder how a guy like Duncan Robinson, whose name was bantered around as one of the guys going the other way in a James Harden trade, I wonder how that disrupts the chemistry of a team that obviously had incredible chemistry last year.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm okay with it. I think these guys can really build off of something special. Like, perfect example is that torch that was held by Jimmy Butler last year was an anomaly. You would have never have thunk that a guy who had a couple conversations with Dwayne Wade in Chicago, whispering in his ear the sweet nothings of how amazing the Miami Heat were and an amazing organization, and you need to get the hell up out of Chicago and Philadelphia bashing your ass as well, you know what I mean, not getting along with the youth, and then obviously getting labeled as a cancer wherever he went. So Jimmy's like, yeah, I sound like I'm pretty much Heat culture from what you keep telling me. So shout out to Dwayne Wade, obviously being the #1 recruiter for the Miami Heat of all time, bringing us a guy like Jimmy Butler who instantly,
and LeBron James,
of course,
before,
and LeBron as well, yes,
right,
and then instantly brings a guy that can lead youth, have work ethic, and show a hell of a lot of excitement for these young men that are coming up, as opposed to being like a hater. A lot of old guys, when they're in the league for a while and they've been in there for a little bit and they might get their thunder stolen by some youth, they don't exactly transition very, very well in terms of teaching young guys and praising them and continually making them feel good about themselves. It's usually one of those things where they'll give you enough education about the game and about what you need to do, and then once they start seeing those guys rise a little bit, then they become withdrawn. That's the way that the veteran system works, because they know ultimately that those guys are going to be taking your job eventually. So, but Jimmy Butler does not have that whatsoever. Like I've grown to absolutely adore what Jimmy did for this organization when he showed up, whether it was the first day to the last day, how serious he was about his business, about his craft, how he brought guys along with him, how he encouraged guys to shoot, how he encouraged the youth movement to go ahead and just basically drop their nuts and get things going again. Like, I don't care if you missed the last 9 shots, keep shooting. Like, and it's very, very hard for a young basketball player to basically hear that from anybody else on the team, especially the leader of the team. So I was excited about what Jimmy Butler did. So now when you throw a couple other young guys in the mix and knowing how Jimmy operates and how he's passed that torch to Bam, and even a guy as young as Tyler can even instill that in this young first-round draft pick, Precious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Precious can probably have, I keep saying Precious. I don't want to say Precious. but Precious can have a really good example from a kid that's 20 freaking years old that showed up last year when he was 19 on how to understand how to become great. So yeah. I think the batons that are going to be continually handed off are really, really, really smooth.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I want to talk about it in our last segment of this hour. But it's not really what I expected out of Jimmy Butler, because he came to the Miami Heat with a little bit of baggage.
Totally.
And that baggage was that he doesn't really get along with everybody all the time.
Boy, did he prove them wrong.
He surely did, and we'll talk more about that after the break. Get the brutal honesty every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with the Big O and the Onside Zone on your home for sports talk in South Florida, OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Romberg and Korge. Take Onside Radio, your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong, deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com. Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Riddle me this, with all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich, Papa John's.
My daughter is Marina. Marina has a rare form of children's eye cancer, retinoblastoma. Her doctor sent us to a specialist, and then the specialist sent us to St. Jude. Within the first couple weeks of us getting here, I was just so scared. I think the reality just hit me, and it kind of hit me all at once. I had started to cry, and her doctor came in, Dr. Brennan came in, and just didn't even say anything, sat down beside me, and hugged me. And held me while I was literally sobbing. And she just said, it's gonna be okay. We don't have to worry anymore. The treatment worked and we've saved her eye. This place has been such a blessing for us. There's no way we could have paid for treatment back home if we had to. We can come here and we can just solely focus on taking care of her and helping her heal.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the guys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. This is Romberg and Korge on Onside Radio.
Oh boy!
There's I don't know what that is.
It's weird. Like you got regular FCC regulated radio, and like the off air conversations usually are the best in the conversation piece. The commercials, but this is even next level. Like this really is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you and I are two peas in a pod, a generation removed. To be honest with you,
you are my illegitimate son. I think I think that might be it. But here we go. So we were talking Jimmy Butler. We were talking Miami Heat. They open in a few minutes in Orlando, and I really had zero idea that Jimmy Butler would be the influence, the player. And I venture to say that Jimmy Butler may be the best leader. No disrespect to LeBron, Dwayne Wade. I think he may be the best leader we've ever seen in black and red in a Miami Heat uniform.
Well, you bring a good point because you have the influential ones that do it by just the leadership, I guess you could say, lead by example, which might be the Shaq, the big men.
Right.
You have Dwayne that obviously led by example because Dwayne's not a vocal guy.
No.
He's very, very quiet. LeBron obviously considered the greatest guy ever, so there might be a sense of intimidation for younger guys to just even be associated with LeBron. Yeah, he's my teammate. Like even like guys that I played with that are rock stars, absolute rock stars. There was still a sense of intimidation, going and hanging out.
Orlando Pace,
like hell, man, like that. The amount of Hall of Famers that I played with, because I went last year when the Super Bowl was here in Miami. I went to Don Shula's inaugural when he got wheeled out there before he passed. It was his big event, big dinner, and all that was there was Hall of Famers. All Hall of Famers, like every Hall of Famer. They mentioned the list that wasn't in attendance, obviously living, like clearly. There was like a list of 9 guys that weren't in attendance. So I'm watching Kevin Green. I'm watching Lloyd. I'm watching Orlando Pace.
Marshall Faulk.
I'm hanging out with Sappy, Ray. It was such an amazing. I was in awe. I was in royalty. I was literally in sports royalty for an afternoon for a luncheon. All the guys like Faust, like old school guys. Greasy obviously handing the baton off, shaking Shula's hand, and they ended up bringing Shula out, and he won like the Lifetime Achievement Award. I think it was. That's what I believe it was. And then Tom Garfinkel, Dolphins president, was there helping him out, and all that other jazz. But just watching the men go up there that have accomplished ridiculous amounts of achievement in their sport and their craft, and their families were with them. They had their wives, their kids, their grandkids. Some of them were there. Brett Favre, like it's just, it really was like a point where I was just like, holy shit, man, I'm really in an amazing place. And there wasn't civilians, like it wasn't a civilian thing. I actually got invited there by Dave Baker, who's the president of the NFL Hall of Fame, whose son Sammy was my left tackle in Atlanta for the Falcons. So I had Dave on the show earlier on in the year, and Dave was like, "Hey, do you want to come to a luncheon? Come do a luncheon on me or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem with luncheon." And he's like, "Oh, the Hall of Fame luncheon for the Super Bowl." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no problem." So I showed up, and I was just like, "Wow, man!" And then it was like me, Warren Moon, and Ronnie Lott bullshitting, and then I ended up leaving with Warren, and I'm just like, "This is Warren freaking Moon, man!" Like Warren Moon, black quarterback in the NFL. Look at this guy. Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
Kicking the door down.
Walking into the studio. Let me wait till the wet segment. We're about to go.
During a commercial.
But walking into the studio, Power Pizza, delivering that great pizza. I don't know what else they have there, but there's a bunch of pinwheels, a lot of boxes in there. And I am looking forward to that, man. I was about to go under. He's been feeding me Scotch whiskey, beer. I need something to get me, sober me up a little bit for this last hour. So thank you very much. We're going to be back in a moment. Don't forget, catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Dono hosts the Man of the Match, 2 to 5 p.m. Dono covers everything from football to MMA. Tune into one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Dono, 2 to 5 p.m. exclusively on OnsideRadio.com.
Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Some good news out of the Dolphins practice today as Myles Gaskin was seen back in action. Receiver Devontae Parker was wearing a compression sleeve around his left leg, and tight end Mike Gesicki was limited. Inter Miami CF has acquired left back Patrick Seagrass from the New York Red Bulls. In exchange, Miami gave them a 2021 Super Draft third-round pick. The Marlins like what they see in Lewin Diaz. The 24-year-old first baseman has hits in 10 of his last 11 games. Those include 2 home runs, a triple, 9 RBIs, and 6 runs scored in that time frame. He also has not committed a defensive error since his hitting streak began on December 14th. The Heat recently pulled out of trade discussions for James Harden. Longtime insider Ira Winderman explained why the team dispatched itself from the trade talks, noting amongst other reasons that, quote, Pat Riley is not going to let himself get played. Riley nor the team saw enough value to pull the trigger. 9 Miami Hurricanes were named to the All-ACC, including kicker Jose Borregales being selected to the first team. The second team included Brevin Jordan, Jalen Phillips, Bubba Bolden, and Louis Headley. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster told reporters today that for the betterment of himself and his teammates, he'll no longer be dancing on opponents' logos. He says when coaches and teammates are starting to get asked about it, then it's time to stop. With your Onside Radio Sports Update, I'm Benjamin Kieran, and you're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida, OnsideRadio.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
It's time for Romberg and Korge. Start your evenings with 2 guys ready to break down all the latest sports headlines in South Florida. To reach out to the boys, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To connect by text, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Now let's go to the show ready to rock your evening. This is Romberg and Korge on Onside Radio.
So here's the thing. Now we're rejuvenated, right? It seems like we got a little energy.
I was not
because you know what? I know why you're dragging ass now is because you said you didn't eat much today.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
See, I had about 5 pieces of sushi, and that was really about it. Because it's Wednesday, and what happens at Wednesday is Publix usually has their $5 sushi days. I normally get 2.
Today just one?
Just one today.
Well, I tell you, this has really reinvigorated me. Power Pizza, these pinwheels are one of the greatest things I've ever tasted in my life. I mean, the pepperoni, the cheese, the pesto sauce in this sort of a roll, if you will.
Oh, it's freaking incredible.
Is incredible. And we have our good friend over here that delivered it. Thank you so much for bringing this in. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. EJ wanted to personally be here, but sadly he's working tonight. Busy man always, but
is he flipping pies tonight? Yeah.
He does a little bit of everything, when he needs to get on the road, he does it. When he needs to be in the kitchen, he does it. He does everything.
And this is the location right there in South Miami, right here, right just off of 57th.
Yes, sir.
Right on the corner.
Yes, sir. Right next to the food mart.
Yeah.
Very easy to find.
Right now. The last show of the year. This is the winner. Like, how can you finish your year without having Power Pizza, bro?
I have to say to all the Jewish people that might be listening.
Oh, here we go. Here we go again.
That, you know what? The Chinese food, change it up this year on Christmas Day. Go for the Power Pizza. These pinwheels are to die for.
I think I'm going to.
Is that what you're going to do?
Because tomorrow I'm doing the Noche Buena thing. So I'm stuck with cooking all day long, right?
But you love that. But you love it.
I do. But I'm going to bar hop too. So I think I'm going to set and forget. The whole whatever that infomercial is. Set it and forget it. And I'm just going to jump from party to party because obviously I don't give a shit about COVID. So I'm just going to continue just go bar hopping.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
I don't care. It is what it is. Whatever. If it takes me, it takes me. Whatever.
But you guys at Power Pizza, you're going to be open during Christmas, correct?
Yes, sir. All day from 11 to 11.
There you go. So that is the place. People like Grant Miller, as an example, Jewish guy. He's probably planning his Chinese dinner for Christmas.
The Jewish thing?
He's probably going to be planning his. Even as look at him over here in the background over here. He's got a Chinese hat on. Even it's a sushi hat.
Really? Do you really do the? Is that stereotypical or what? Because I don't want to
celebrate Christmas.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. My brother's the one. He married a Jew, so that's what happened.
So you go Christmas,
I go,
but Michael does not.
Listen, good Jewish people work every day. Just remember that.
Okay.
I don't care what holiday is. We're like Macy's. We work every day.
They're open every day of the week.
Not like the Lebanese who takes off every holiday.
Oh Christ! Here we go. We're throwing stones. Isn't that how that Gaza Strip got started?
See, isn't it?
Isn't this how?
Yes, this is like another Middle Eastern war going on here. But see, that's the beauty of being a Canadian. Everybody loves the Canadian.
Everybody loves us, man.
Well, we have to say goodbye to our good friend here from Power Pizza. Thank you so much for delivering these.
Yeah,
anybody that wants a great pizza, these pinwheels are off the chain. I'm going to stand up in a second, and Brett's going to take the mic because I'm going to go grab another one of those pinwheels over here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Thank you very much. Tell EJ definitely thank you so much for this. I've been craving this for a long time. I haven't even had pizza forever in a day, but I know you got to get to work. You got to do what you got to do, bro.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
You guys have a Merry Christmas as well. Definitely.
Likewise.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Did you really get up and go get another pinwheel?
I did.
Gord,
I did.
I cannot wait to God. I had like a really good holiday diet thing going as well, too. Aside from the 37 beers that we continuously drink every night. But aside from that, I've been doing my liquid dinners and liquid lunches. So
do you have how much food did you eat when you were a player in the NBA in the NFL?
Ridiculous. Imagine 305. There was no room for error. Like
you weigh 305.
I was 305 when I was playing.
What do you weigh now?
258, 257.
And that's probably more your natural weight, right?
Yeah. Well, when I left high school, I think I was like 236, 237. I get to I put on like 40, 50 pounds.
Is that when you got to as a 18-year-old young Canadian?
Yeah, man.
Bright-eyed young Canadian.
Well, don't forget, I like I said before, I didn't play football for the sport. I played it for the chicks. I worked out. I was a pretty boy. I was like super into bodybuilding, to be honest with you.
Back then?
I was a muscle mag junkie. I even tucked my sweatshirt into my jeans. I was all, look at you guys. You guys just
look at that. Graham Miller's offering me another one.
don't take too many of those. I'm still eating. I'm still eating.
But now
My boys are challenging you to lift weights.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always accepted challenges, but I walked in here last night and both the Miller kids are in there lifting weights with no shirt on.
I know, I saw that.
And they're built like brick shit houses.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of body types in the NFL, college football. Those kids are freaking yoked. Like yoked. One of them's an attorney or going to be an attorney, correct? Like one's a PhD kid and one's a freaking going to be a lawyer. Like if I was literally in looking for representation and that brick shithouse came in front of me, his neck has got to be a 21 neck. He's got to be a 21 neck. And he walks in and he's like carrying suitcases, but he's not carrying anything. You know those type of guys, right? That walk in.
And that's a muscular 21.
Brother, this guy
21 neck. That's not a John Candy 21
he is a
neck.
C cup. He's got pechuguitas, but I even saw bicep veins. Like they're man, Grant Miller's producing some. He's got some genetics now.
They're ready to challenge you. They said,
Well, but
what do they want to do in the weight room? What kind of like challenges do they want to like power clean? Do they want to bench?
Whatever you want. The older one's going back to Atlanta in a week. Come on, he'll
Get on the microphone there, Grant.
No, I'm not. He'll squat you, deadlift you.
Deadlift? Yeah. Will my spine get kind of crumbled and crushed? Probably, yeah. He knows I'm old though. How old is he?
He's a 40-year-old man.
Yeah, he's in his mid-20s. That guy's testosterone is probably like 900.
How much could you have lifted in your mid-20s?
You could probably lift a shitload now too, right? You're pretty good.
I bet you were doing 500 to 700 deadlifts.
Yeah.
Hey, your wife just wants to keep your thing safe.
No doubt. As long as my pencil works, I think I'm above the game at this point in time. You know what I mean? As long as my pencil's able to write, that's the only. I'm shooting blanks. I'm all done. I ended up getting a snip, but yeah, as long as the pencil works, I think I'm good. I'm above the average cat right now.
I went to a Miami Heat practice several years ago.
Smooth transition, by the way.
And I was standing there. They invited someone from the Heat Dolphin organization had invited me and my son Kevin to come and watch a practice in their bubble at that time. And this was maybe 10 years ago. And the players finished the practice. They were taking their pads off, walking off the practice field. And I thought that it was, I couldn't believe how large these guys were.
Which ones, though?
I mean, they were mostly, I guess.
Probably linebackers and defensive ends.
Yes, linebackers and defensive
Those
linemen.
are always the genetically gifted body types.
Really?
Oh, my God. Offensive linemen, you'll probably look at them as like, yeah, those guys are monsters. They're just big dudes.
Right.
Defensive linemen, defensive tackles are your fast but fat players, aside from Donaldson, obviously, or Aaron Donald, sorry.
Right.
Aside from him. Defensive ends are freaks of nature because they're usually 6'3", 4'5", long, lanky, look like they've been in freaking prison for 10 years, like just ridiculous,
exactly.
low body fat, and extremely athletically gifted. Running backs, they're whatever. You could be a really deceivingly body type of running back. Linebackers, jacked up, super jacked up. Wide receivers, obviously deers, specimens. Right. Defensive backs, they're whatever. They know exactly. They're not like the best bod in the room, but like linebackers and even I don't know if I wouldn't give tight ends like the prototype. I would give more defensive ends, linebackers. Aside from Metcalf, he's an anomaly, but it
didn't look.
There's guys that are monsters.
It didn't even look real to me. I mean, it looked like surreal. I mean, I looked at them and go thinking, that can't even be real. It's like photoshopped, you know?
The one guy that blew my mind after even like, so every year at the University of Miami, we would do a summer photo. After guys would be busting their ass for the summer sessions, we would do a photo at the end of the year, at the end of the summer. And it was veins, abs, chest muscles, and like muscle striations everywhere. And then you would have like the typical offensive lineman that would be whatever, but in really good shape. Then I get to the NFL and I see Greg Jones, a running back out of Florida State, who I'll never forget this because my locker is against the back wall. So I'm against the back wall and I'm in the kind of a corner, and there's about 3 lockers on the right side of me, and then it's going vertical. And Greg Jones's locker is about 2 or 3 up. So literally,
you're looking right at him.
Reach out and like high five.
You're looking right at him.
All of a sudden, we come in from a workout after just coming. Oh, G. Jones was drafted 2nd round my 2nd year at Jacksonville. So we get like, Fred Taylor. I'm used to seeing Fred Taylor as the running back. Fred's not a good body kind of guy. He's muscular. Yeah, no, he's muscular, but nothing crazy.
Right.
Nothing crazy whatsoever. Just in a really good shape kind of dude. And then Greg Jones shows up. And as he's like pulling off his shirt, I'm watching like Lou Ferrigno. I'm watching Dorian Yates. I'm watching fucking what's that one dude's name? The Ronnie Coleman. I'm watching like this, like it's almost a pose down for a freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger event up in Ohio, the big Arnold Classic. And it's just like, and his shirt comes up and his abs are like,
like a 12-pack.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to look, right? I'm trying not to look, but I'm super secure in my sexuality, and I can appreciate another dude's freaking jacked upness. So I'm kind of gearing down, but I'm getting super intimidated. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm like almost like a girl. Like give me a towel. Like give me a towel. I don't want him to see what I got going on over here because I took pride in my appearance, and I'm just like Jesus Christ. So I'm like literally taking my gear off, but I'm enamored by Greg Jones. And then all of a sudden, okay, so the shirt comes off and he stands there and he goes like this, wham, and he throws his arm and his freaking tricep that looks like he got kicked in the back of the arm by a horse. All of a sudden, just wham, and it's in slow motion. And I was like, holy shit. And he's got a bicep vein that's like a McDonald's straw going down the front side of it. And I'm just watching him. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then usually you can't really have a good body dude that has good upper and good lower. Usually like it's not a mixture of
right.
The two.
Yeah.
He like kind of like bends over to the side, and I'm like getting like a side angle, and he's pulling his girdle down, and all of a sudden I'm seeing like a freaking hunk of beef off the back of his leg, which is his hamstring that's got veins in it. Then it's his goddamn quads that I almost got hit in the face with, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. This guy is just that yoked up. And then he turns around and smiles, and he looks at me, and he's got elastics in his braces. He's like a 13-year-old kid looking at me with elastics holding his braces together, and I'm like, G. Jones, like for real, man. That's what I said to him. I said, like for real? And he's like, what's up, Romberg? What's up, man? I'm just like, dude, like, do you lift or what do you do? And he goes, you think I'm big? You see my uncle. And I just looked at him. I said, Jesus Christ.
How well did he do in the NFL?
Really, really good. He was misused in the very beginning with Jacksonville being like a fullback kind of guy. But Greg Jones, you ask Shawn Taylor, you ask a lot of the Miami Hurricane guys. Nobody wanted Greg Jones.
Really?
Nobody wanted that monster. He had tennis balls that he cut in half and like glued to his stomach. That's how goddamn sick. You want to talk about a freaking abs? And this kid was 260 pounds.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Trying to tackle that.
Monster, bro. Monster.
Unbelievable. Well, in the next segment, we're going to talk our naughty and nice list.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, right? Who was naughty and who was nice in the world of sports in 20 that. Well, where Heat fans get the best insight on the team? That's with Ethan Skolnick from 5 Reasons Sports Daily from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on OnSideRadio.com.
Your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnSideRadio.com.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the fellas, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Romberg and Korge.
With all that was going on in the world, in our country, that were nice, that did some really incredible things. Yeah, he's back with us. Thanks, thanks, Brett.
Well, he's got to get a water break once in a while.
Once in a while. But we're talking about our naughty and nice list. And, you know, I want to get it started up. And for the people watching on YouTube or Facebook, Tommy, maybe you could play that clip while I talk about it. But
is that your first one?
Yeah, it's my first one. And I want to talk about Shawn Williams, the Bengals safety, who is on my naughty list. And I want to get your impression of this, Brett Romberg, because
I'm going to go ahead and roll it.
Roll it so Brett could
tape. Roll the tape, Tommy.
Roll the tape, Tommy. So safety Shawn Williams in a game just a couple weeks ago. 36. He intentionally stomped. Watch this. Right there stood right on Solomon Kinley, who was already injured leg, and was thrown out of the game, subsequently suspended for one game by the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a blatant thing that he did. I mean, he just, just callously stepped right on his injured leg and walked away. There we go. And I want to get your opinion, Brett, on that. Would that constitute him being on the naughty list, on Andy Korge's naughty list?
Well, I hate all defensemen. Yeah, it is what it is. But the reason why he did this, let me explain this. So, number one, Solomon, shout out to number 66 for the Miami Dolphins.
You like that number, huh?
Yeah, it's a good number. He's peeling people off the pile. If you watch that clip, you could see at the very end, people are taking cheap shots. So sometimes what the defense is taught to do is if you can't tackle the guy, stand him up so a lot of other guys can circle the party and come in and just start pinging your running back, because your running back only has so many hits in him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once you start deteriorating that horse that you're riding in the game of football, it takes its toll. And what an offensive lineman is supposed to do is go downfield, and it's called peeling people off the pile. And until that whistle is blown, you have the legal right, to go ahead and just zing anybody that's hanging around. So heaven forbid some of the guys that are standing there watching your guy get peppered. So you got to go in and make sure that they don't get a hit on your running back or your quarterback or your wide receiver. It goes across the board for all your talented skill players. So Sullivan, what he's doing is what he's coached to do, and that is get downfield, get an attaboy, maybe earn a couple extra $100 because, they might have that going on in the offensive line room where you get to go ahead and get attaboys. You get a couple extra tips once in a while. Yeah, you got that going on the board, and he's doing his job. He's literally just peeling guys off the pile. So what you see number 36 see is his middle linebacker, or 55, getting zinged and peeled off the pile by a fat offensive lineman who he's got no respect for. So then all of a sudden, he gets up and just decides to walk on the back of somebody's legs, because that's what's going on nowadays. And the problem is okay, molded cleats is usually what the offensive linemen wear, which is the rubber bottoms. Those defensive backs, those bastards, them safeties, they like to wear screw-ins, which are hard plastic,
yes,
very, very painful things that step on your feet. Because offensive linemen tend to step on their feet a lot. So that's why we wear a lot of the molded. That's why we wear the rubbers. And the rubbers sometimes actually act a little bit better for the fat guys who don't need to make cuts. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you're almost walking around with moon boots on, being able to go ahead and keep as much of your foot in the ground at all times. Whereas the skill guys, they want the screw-in cleats so they can go ahead and dig and explode off the line of scrimmage. So that back, or that defensive back, needless to say, it's a dirty play. It really is a dirty play, because sometimes you forget that there's an eye in the sky. Sometimes you forget that you're being watched by 320 different cameras. So unfortunately for him, he's out an NFL game.
So I am justified by putting him on my naughty list.
Yeah, I guess so. Because I'm thinking of it as an offensive lineman, and I would have fought that guy. Like, perfectly honest with you, if I was one of the other offensive linemen that saw my boy Kinley just get stepped on, it would have been a fight immediately.
Well, that's what ensued in that Dolphins-Bengals game, and you wonder why there was such a melee during that game. That was part of the reason Shawn Williams was, as I said, suspended for one game by the NFL. And
what does Shawn Williams make annually? Tommy Ho, can you possibly pull that up? Because I wouldn't mind finding out, because
how much money he lost for that?
Just for that one game. If you look at that, because not only is he getting fined by the NFL, but he's also losing a game check. So that's what people forget to think about. So if he's making X amount of money 1 week,
salary $5,046,250.
So divide $5,046,250 by 17 weeks. And that's what that guy lost out on by missing the game. And then on top of that,
it's about $400,000.
That $15,000 on top of that. People are going to hear, he's got fined $15,000, but he also got fined a game check.
Ooh,
that's a big difference now. If you're thinking about what you did for 2 seconds of thought process of stepping on the back of somebody's legs, and you're going to have to pay a couple $100,000 for it, you probably wouldn't have done it. What do we got going on right there?
It's probably about $350.
Tommy Ho, what do we got?
$300,000.
$296. So 300 G's to step on the back of that kid's leg. And then on top of that, the 15,000, if he's a repeat offender, obviously a little bit more, but original, personal foul fine is about $15,000. So yeah, you're welcome.
And none of those players think about that when that happens.
And all of a sudden, when that game check comes in bi-weekly, and all of a sudden you're 300 shy, oops, where'd that go? No questions asked. That's out of your game check. You can't even sit there and fight it. They take it out, and then when you want to go to arbitration for it, then you have to file, and then you go back in. So automatically, it's already taken out, no matter what. So imagine that guy just lost $310K.
Well, people lose count of that real fast.
And that's why. But what was alarming to me was like the guys that throw the footballs in the stadium, or in the stands after a touchdown, or the stupid, ridiculous touchdown dances before they became legal.
Right.
guys would set aside hundreds of thousands of dollars just to pay fines every year. Just not even.
Is it worth it?
No, hell no. Not for me, it isn't. Are you crazy?
I mean, I can't imagine for anyone.
Christ's sakes, no way, man. I'm a nickel and dime kind of guy. I'm super cheaposo. So no, it's never. I've actually had to pay uniform fines before, like literally the sock. So they call him the uniform police, and you get warned at the beginning of the game. There's a guy that is from the NFL that walks around during pregame warmup that tells you if your socks, if you have too low whites, because every team is issued a pair of socks that, for instance, your team color is on the top half of it, and then it's white on the bottom half. And you could see on every single game on every NFL weekend, guys have solid colors all the way to their shoes. That's called low whites. That's immediately $5,000. And then, for instance, if you tape around your ankle because your ankle's screwed up, which happened to me a couple times, and you cover your Nike logo or whatever your shoe sponsor is, you're losing sponsorships immediately that game. So if you got like a $10,000 or $15,000 Nike sponsorship, you're losing the grand immediately just for taping your shoe because of an injury, no matter what. So yeah, there's a lot of like money taxation involved, a lot of deductions and a lot of debits coming out of that account.
And listen, at the end of the day, man, you want to bring in every dollar because your life expectancy is not that long.
No doubt about it. And although it is a write-off, it doesn't really make that's what people keep justifying it with. Oh, it's a write-off. Brother, you could have $300,000 extra in your account right now. Like that's your no. I don't know what his family situation is, to be honest with you. So it's like ill for me to speak on it. But I imagine there's a few people in that guy's family that don't make $300,000 a year.
Oh, for sure.
Let alone
right.
That kind. Like I'll never forget the day. You want to hear a funny story? I'll never forget this. I just came back from the tax guy, my accountant, and I ended up having to write a check. I think it was for like $200,000 and something that year in taxes. And my dad calls me, and I came from humble beginnings, like barely able to make it kind of thing. And my dad calls me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, coming back from the accountant. He's like, "You're what?" And I was like, "My accountant."
The what?
And he goes, "What do you need accountant for?" And I said, "Well, got a couple business accounts. I got a couple of this, couple of that. I need to make sure, and I made some money, so I need to make sure, that everything's tip top because the government will come after me." And then my old man goes, "Oof." He goes, "You don't sound too happy." And I was like, "Well," I was like, "Christ, man." I was like, "Imagine having to write a couple $100,000 check right now to the government." And then he goes, "Imagine making a couple $100,000." And that's when I was just like, "Oh, I forgot who I was talking
to." Do you lose sight of that as a player?
100%. 100%. Because you're in a fairy tale world.
You're in a fairy tale
world where everybody's making a shit ton of money. And it's like, it's nothing to go out to dinner with 7 or 8 people and spend $3,000 or $4,000 on dinner. And it's like, blah, 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 I got it. You get the next one, I got this one, I got it. And it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. And then there's a lot of ways that like things become write-offs, obviously, when you're traveling in other different cities. And it's like, I'll never forget, my dad basically brought me back down to earth with that comment because, my dad was on unemployment. My dad was on assistance and that kind of thing. And I remember my dad would give me $10 and I need to put $5 in gas in the car and buy a pack of cigarettes with the other $5 for him. Like that's basically the way I lived. And it was check to check with my family, my household. And when I hit him with imagine writing a $200,000 plus check to the government. And then he goes, "Well, imagine making $200,000." And I felt like a piece of shit. Like I felt really, really bad. It put things in perspective for me. It really
but you know what? He did you a service.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did because he put things, as you say, in perspective. And a lot of times these athletes do not have that perspective.
No, that's the end. And what's crazy is the majority of them that grew up with that perspective at hand. You know what I mean? It's like you see the guys walking around with $200,000 watch, $120,000 necklace, about $10,000-$15,000 in their ears, and all of a sudden it ain't nothing. And that's what I'm just like, shit, where did you come from again? Like your house is worth $80,000 back home. And you know what I mean? And then you're walking around with $500,000 in jewelry just wearing it during practice. Like that's crazy to me.
It's crazy. And hey, that one maneuver by Shawn Williams cost him, we just figured it out, probably close to $400,000.
$320,000.
$320,000 for stepping on Solomon.
Think about it, if you want to include taxes. So imagine a game check that's before taxes.
Right. That's a lot of money Cost him
That's
that.
a big swing for that game.
And by the way, also cost him being on Andy Korge's naughty list.
Oh, that's way more
valuable,
yeah,
right?
Way more demeaning.
Exactly, it is.
That's a tougher pill to swallow. That's definitely a tougher pill to swallow.
Absolutely. But we're going to continue our naughty nice list as we round out the Christmas holiday show here.
You did go to Tootsie's the other, so you got to have a couple naughty lists.
There's some other really naughty stuff going on here, and some nice stuff that we really must point out for 2020. Well, weekdays, catch the most complete soccer show in South Florida as Kaylin Kyle hosts Inside Football on your home for all sports, OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Romberg and Korge. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger, captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that moment in time, her life changes forever. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way,
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health. And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong. Deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the guys, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. This is Romberg and Korge on Onside Radio.
was about to say, is that like Money on My Mind, or is that like
I don't know
Every Day
what
I'm
that
Hustling,
is.
or that's that trunk beats right there? Man, that's Shawn Stanley trying to get all them trunk beats. He's got all these like hood beats that he finds in like the back of people's cars.
Yeah, that's Shawn Stanley
It
for
is
you.
Shawn Stanley.
Well, welcome back to Romberg and Korge. I want to give a quick shout out to my good friend Kent Post, who gave me this hat, this ridiculous looking hat that I've been wearing during the holiday
I like
season.
it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay, well that's courtesy of my good friend Kent Post, so shout out to him. I went to get a little more ice to refresh my drink, and I never realized there's vending machines back there.
Yeah, they are, but you need to rob a bank in order to go ahead and pay for the goddamn things that are in it. Like,
It's
when did a bag of
ridiculous.
Funyuns cost $4.50?
I mean, these
And who has $4.50 in quarters?
Profit on this.
I mean, these Miller brothers.
Is
I
that
tell
what it
you,
is? They're independent contractors with these vending
yes,
machines?
and I don't want to cast any aspersions
let's not do that.
on their ethnic
Because
background.
you've done that quite a bit this season.
I seem to have done that. I've put my foot in my mouth several times, but I don't want to do that again this evening. But I
Are
will.
you saying that they're falling inside of the stereotype?
Yes, they are way inside of that stereotype. With those $4, it wasn't $4.50, it was $4.
Goddamn bag of Sun chips is freaking $6.50. Who buys a bag of like the one that has 9 chips in it? $6.50.
I don't know, but it was it's pretty bad over
It's
there.
$1
But
and a quarter a chip, bro.
yeah, they're quarter a chip.
$1 and a quarter.
Oh no. Well, Tommy, so you had someone. We're going to continue with our naughty and nice list for 2020 in the world of sports. You have somebody that was kind of naughty?
Yeah, and this is kind of timely because this just happened. So this guy made my naughty list, and he's been naughty for a long time. The owner of the Washington Redskins, a.k.a.
Snyder.
Washington Football Club, Daniel Snyder.
Yeah.
This stems from an incident in 2009 on a private plane ride from, I guess, D.C. to Las Vegas for the CMA Awards, the Country Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl that was on the staff of the Redskins at that time, filed a case of sexual harassment. It took this clown 11 years to settle for $1.6 million when the guy's a freaking billionaire.
And clown would be the right description of Daniel Snyder.
Yeah.
I
So he
mean,
made my naughty list for sure.
He's been a clown in many different fronts. Brett, what do you think of Snyder? Do you think that, forget about this incident, which was, horrible, but what about him finally changing the name of the now Washington football team? I mean, it was a name that certainly disgraced, Native Americans in the United States. And it really took this whole change that occurred this summer for him to do it. I mean, I don't think if we didn't see Black Lives Matter occur this summer the way we did,
He would have kept riding this thing out.
he would have kept riding it.
Well, yeah, this has been, since I've been playing, this has been an issue. You know what I mean? I didn't even realize the amount of stranglehold that Snyder has on that, not only just the organization itself, but anything having to do with that team and organization around the surrounding areas. So, for instance, if you've ever attended a Washington Redskin game, you basically have to park light years away from the stadium and ride some of Daniel Snyder's transportation into the area to get to the stadium. So he literally has a stranglehold on everything, like economically, that goes around, that circulates around that team and that organization. I've heard great things spoken about them. That's the only reason why I'm just kind of like, whatever. It's kind of a catch-22. So Portis likes him. Santana Moss likes him.
Really?
Yeah, like they say he's a good owner, I guess you could say.
Wow.
But
of course, he paid them a lot of money.
Yeah, well, yeah, they ended up making a hell of a lot of money. But clearly, deaf and just obsolete when it comes to being aware of the name of his team's organization. So moving forward, Washington Redskins. Okay, instead of coming up with a name, because I imagine he's been fighting tooth and nail
for
to
years
try to rename this. You've had a decade plus to think about what you want to rename this organization. And you're telling me in this long-standing pondering ability to find a new name for your hell, I can come up with a new name in about 2 hours. You're telling me the powers that be can't figure out a new name for the Washington Redskins? Like, let's be honest. So they're just going to go ahead and get stonewalled with Washington football team?
Right.
Like, it's amazing. There's a little fruit fly flying around. I'm about to eat it. And yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that's got to be out of control. That's got to be crazy for a guy like Dan Snyder to do something like that and to finally concede, because Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and a few different crazy labels and marks have obviously been pulled off the shelves. It took that. It took basically the sheer murder of Mr. Floyd getting kneeled on by a police officer while kind of grinning and chuckling while he was doing it to realize, maybe it's a good time now. Maybe now that there's like some mirrors going on that can possibly create a little bit of a defer from my team's name and my team's organization, I'm going to go ahead and just rename it at this point in time. But yet still enabled to go ahead and come up with a legitimate name to name his organization. Like that's that's unbelievable for me.
It really is. And he's been a naughty guy for many years. So well said there, Mr. Tommy.
But he also did give a lot of money to Shawn Taylor's family.
Right.
He did. He put together a lot for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like $1 million for his daughter, to be honest with you. That did need to be given to his daughter, put in like some kind of college fund or scholarship fund. He's done a lot for the, and I'll put it this way, probably a little bit more than the Lauriers did for Jose down here in South Florida, which basically helped them and carried that organization down here. Shawn Taylor didn't carry the Redskins.
Right.
Definitely shined a nice little light on them. But definitely didn't do as much as what Jose was doing down here for the Marlins. So yeah, in that retrospect, yes, Snyder was good to the Taylor family and his kids, obviously, and so I can't really knock him for that. But the whole naming situation is just it's kind of bogus.
Yeah, there's two sides to every coin. Well, let me give you someone on my nice list, and I want to give this to you, Brett Romberg, because I know you're a former offensive lineman, and this guy is an offensive lineman in the NFL that did a remarkable thing to me in 2020. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Lawrence Duvernay Tardif.
Let's go ahead and pronounce his name right.
Okay. Say
Laurent Duvernay Tardif.
Tardif. Oh, there you go.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Starting right guard for the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And why is he on my nice list? Well,
because he's saving lives.
He turned in that football uniform for a stethoscope. He's a doctor.
Yep.
And when the pandemic started, he opted out of the 2020 season. He gave up a ton of money, a chance to repeat, no less, with a team that looked poised to go back to the Super Bowl. They still look poised to go back to the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs. And he did it to serve on the front lines as doctor fighting COVID. He went back to his home country, your home country.
Yeah, man, that's why I love him.
Canada, and served as a doctor helping patients in a long-term care facility in his native Montreal. His desire to help the elderly people suffering from this deadly virus and shun the bright lights put him on my nice list for 2020.
I'll never forget the first time I ever came across Laurent. I'm watching Monday Night Football, and I hear Laurent Duvernay Tardif, and I'm just like, what did he just say to me? And I'm like, wait a minute, did I just? Because I
you had no idea it existed.
I was like, heard it, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, okay, let me Google this guy. Sure enough, went to McGill, which is one of the most predominant universities in Canada. They're very, very good when it comes to being an attorney and medical. That's what McGill is. It's up in the mountains in Montreal. I actually played in their stadium, at McGill Stadium, a couple times when I played for Team Canada. Awesome. Really, really cool. Amazing university, amazing institution up in Canada. And I say this, and I can't say this enough. Even last night, having Coach Merritt here talking about his starting running backs are kids from Ottawa, kids from Canada.
Right.
And he goes, some of the best linemen that I ever played with when I was at Indiana, when he was playing with Indiana, Canadian kids. And I think that, like, it's a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a distraction to kind of go north of the border when you're usually using to farm a lot of the kids out of the United States. But there's a lot of kids in Canada that are so damn good and so damn accountable. Like, they really can be, because let's face it, I've said this before, there's no athletic scholarships given in Canada. So you have to be studious in order to get a scholarship. And not everybody's family is affluent enough to go ahead and pay for university in Canada, obviously. So if you're going to be getting a kid from Canada, he's probably pretty decent with the books. He has goals and aspirations for his life. And he will come over the border to play some football. But just like myself, I was interested in getting an education before even attempting to think about going to the NFL. So, Laurent Duvernay Tardif, merci beaucoup. thank you so much for everything that you do, and obviously and helping save lives during the COVID pandemic. And we will see you in 2021, the NFL season. And I cannot wait to start talking with the French Canadian accent, especially if you're from Montreal, you son of a bitch. Can't wait to see you back up north again. No, yeah, I love it. Can't get enough of them.
I knew you'd love that one. Well, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Shawn Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest. Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Shawn covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to Romberg and Korge. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with the MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnSideRadio.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
To serve, to treat.
To safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
Advanced medicine, and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals.
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
Anything that comes our way.
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health. And we are ready
We're ready.
We're ready.
to care for you.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong. Deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that moment in time, her life changes forever. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime.
Hey, it's Big O. Catch the Onside Zone daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. No better place to get the insight you want on the teams you love, from the Dolphins to Inter Miami and everything in between. Hey, it's Orlando Alzagari. Listen, podcast, stay connected to the show that bleeds South Florida sports every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. only at OnSideRadio.com.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Welcome back to Romberg and Korge. To reach out to the fellas, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Romberg and Korge.
Back with Romberg and Korge. Thanks for joining us. Thank God you are not in this studio watching some of the things that
straight debauchery going on right now.
With a bang, no pun intended.
It is not good. It is not good. I want to give you a naughty before you give me one, Tommy. We're continuing on our 2020 naughty and nice list for professional and athletes in America. And the one I have, which comes to mind, and I want to get your impression of it, Brett, because I want to know what you would be thinking if you were his teammate. Daniel House, Houston Rocket guard, who snuck an Instagram model into the NBA bubble at the Grand Floridian in Orlando. Am I slurring my words now?
A little bit. We're 3 sheets to the wind right now.
Three or four. Yeah. But he snuck this woman, this Instagram model, in during his team's playoff series with the Los Angeles Lakers. The girl was paid $7,000 to come into the bubble by House. And once discovered, House was kicked out of the bubble, leaving the Rockets a man short during the remaining playoff series with the Los Angeles Lakers. No wonder Westbrook and Harden said adios to Houston.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not speaking from experience per se, but I'm speaking from common sense, right? So, number one, the thing that stands out to me is he paid her $7,000, first of all. So I understand that there's some kind of fame associated with IG models and ass models that are making a good amount of money from showing pictures of their ass cheeks on tops of like vanities and bathroom windows. But he's an NBA basketball player. My guess is he can probably snag up a plethora of girls.
Right.
Second thing that stands out to me is you're in the bubble for only so long.
Right.
It's just like vacationing or going out or going away for a couple of days during an NFL season. You have 4 months to do it or 3 months to do it later on. You could travel the world if you want to. Can you just wait? I imagine that Instagram model is still going to take the same $7,000 when you're out of the bubble that she's going to take out of your pocket when you're there. That's 3. Number 4 is you better believe if this chick is living her life on social media, she's going to be snagging some photos of you in your room or her walking in the bubble.
That's exactly what happened.
Is that what happened?
Exactly what happened.
She's not going to an NBA bubble that is super secluded in VIP and not taking photos or video of herself.
No, it's exactly what happened.
So basically, to sum up, my man's a moron, like a flat out moron, to not just think of, I could be drunk off of my ass, horny as a mother scruncher, and still put 2 and 2 together and realize that there's so much negative that can happen during this scenario. And on top of that, he's paying for it.
Yeah,
the
crazy.
$7,000 out of his, mind you, $7,000 to them is like $17, dollars to the layman's person, but still, you're paying for it. Wait, man. Just if you're going to pay for it anyway, you might as well wait, man. Wait another month. It is what it is. She ain't going to up her prices. What is she going to get, another 50,000 followers? What, you might get up another $100, $1,500. I don't know, but still willing to pay for it, obviously.
Right. Well,
I was going to bring one more naughty, but I think we ought to finish the season off with something nice.
Well, here I got to
go nice.
You got
a lot of love in your heart tonight. I'm wondering why. What you got going on?
There's something happening after the show that might change things.
Like somebody's going to visit a singer.
Well, I'll give you a couple nices. Can I give you a couple nices?
Yeah, but we just going to name them real quick?
Real quick. How about LeBron James as a nice? I mean, he effectuated 40,000 election workers by the start of his charity, More Than a Vote. after the George Floyd incident.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people don't even realize this, that LeBron does so much more unannounced charitable work that people don't even realize he does. Because I got friends that have a lot of money that have actually built people houses before and has not even made it public about it.
Right.
Or accommodated certain families with certain stuff and doesn't even want to even speak about it, but just out of the goodness of their heart and have that kind of, not only money, but also resources to go.
He gets a bum rap, man. Very often.
I want to fight LeBron too, but you can't. You can't hate great. You can't hate great. It is what it is.
You're not kidding. Got anyone?
I'm gonna give a quick one, and then we gotta close it out. Alex Smith on the comeback,
brother. Yeah,
the guy was left leg demolished.
I got some ridiculous stories.
The epitome of perseverance, the epitome of dedication. But then he runs this awesome foundation, the Alex Smith Foundation, that helps foster kids transition into adulthood. So, I mean, the guy's a beast.
He really is.
I got to be cheering for him.
I don't like Alex. I got a bone to pick with that guy.
Oh, well.
No pun intended.
Can you hold that thought till 2021?
It has to do with alcohol, Waffle House, and my wife.
Okay,
so, yeah. It'll be an interesting New Year's story.
I can't wait to hear.
Waffle House, alcohol, and my wife. I like that one.
I can't hate. It sounds like a country western song to me, but I can't wait to hear that story. A shout out to Antonio Brownie. I think he might have gone from naughty to nice this year. Haven't heard a peep out of him. But thank you so much for joining us tonight on Romberg and Korge. Have a safe and Merry Christmas. Stay out of trouble. Donald Trump just pardoned Roger Stone. Big surprise there.
Get ready for some news.
I was hoping for Joe Exotic.
No, you got, what's his name too? Barr, I believe his name.
Yes.
Barr is all retired and up and done now. He can go ahead and testify. There's a lot.
I'm a huge
Listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up any